Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to a brand new video. Today we're going to be discussing my reading goals for 2024 and my channel goals for 2024. I'm hoping this is going to be a super short video. I don't want to go ramble on for ages. There's no discussion on books in this video. I just want to talk to you about the goals I have for my reading technique in 2024. And yes, I call it a technique because this is planned to a T. And also my channel goals in 2024 and where I want to go with my content. My biggest goal for 2024, and has also been my biggest goal for the last 2 years, is quality over quantity. And I'm getting better at this every single year that I've been reading. In January, it is my 4th year on BookTube, meaning that it's my 4th year of pretty much only reading BookTube recommendations. And that's brilliant. I don't want that to change. I feel like I have uncovered some of the most amazing books I've ever read because of BookTube. And I would never have had that privilege before. And I'm so honoured to be in a community where we get book recs all the time. I love it. But I do feel there's something that comes with BookTube and having endless stream of recommendations thrown at me all the time that sound interesting and my cup of tea. It just creates a longer and longer list of books that I want to read, which is great. But then instead of reading those books and enjoying those books, it's like I have a checklist in my brain. And I think a lot of that has to do with my gigantic TBR, where I find myself finishing a book and instead of feeling oh, that was a really good book, I'm like, right, great, accomplished, next book. And that is something I've gotten better at over the last, I'd say, 2 years. I feel like since maybe beginning of 2022, that is something I have really focused on. And also, instead of buying all these books that I want to read, because it's true, I do want to read them and I do enjoy picking them up, the issue with doing that, I heard someone talking about it in a video today and it really connected with me. My books, when I buy them, for some reason, after a while, I lose interest in them. They've been in my face for too long, they've sat on my shelves for too long, I've seen them too much. If they stay at the bookstore, they stay looking shiny to me. They stay looking happy, they stay looking good, I want them. So I need to leave the books at the bookstore. The issue I have with this, and I'm well aware that it is the flaw I have, is that I love The Works. The Works, if you're not from the UK, is the cheapest bookstore ever. They have a selection of books in, and they're as cheap as £2. Super cheap. But the problem is The Works that they don't have the same books all the time. For example, I bought the first book in the Place of Prisoners series at the beginning of the year. I just read it. I loved it so much. I'm trying to buy the book again, but they're £12 for these paperbacks. Whereas I remember The Works having them for £4 or £5 beginning of this year, and they don't have them anymore. And I'm like, God, I wish I'd bought them then, because they're a quarter of the price. However, consumerism is not cute, and I do encourage it a lot on this channel, and I think I want to choose the same thing, quality over quantity, in my book buying. I'm never not going to buy books. I'm never not going to be pulled by the inspiration of a bookstore. I want to go in there. I want to buy books. I like coming out with impulse purchases. I don't regret them. I just think I need to be more selective on the synopses I'm picking up and I'm reading. I hate reading synopses. I feel like so many of them these days give so much away. But I think for the purpose of how many books I have on my TBR and my Kindle TBR, this isn't just physical book buying. I just need to, when I see a recommendation from BookTube, I need to research, or I need to put it on a list and then in a month go, do I still want to read that? Instead of leaving it on an endless list and then having to read it. I don't just then get to the book and go, oh, do you know what, I'm not interested in that anymore, I'm going to strike it off. I feel like I have to read it because I was at one point interested in it, because I have this horrible feeling that I'm going to miss a favourite if I don't. I don't know if it's part of my OCD. I have OCD and it causes a lot of mental issues. Obviously, it's a mental health condition. And I think a part of it could be my OCD. I have such a fear of, even when I unhaul a book I haven't read, that there could be my favourite book. And I have this weird thing of I don't know what's inside it, because they're so small and yet they hold so many worlds and characters. When I unhaul something I haven't read, I get so nervous that is a new favourite that I'll never know about. And it's the same when I'm buying books. I'm like, well, what if I don't buy it, or if I don't read it and somebody said it was good? What if I don't read it and it was a favourite. It's actually kind of crippling at times. I can put in things in placement that help me counteract that. Things that I know will work for me. I just need to implement them and make them a structure in my life that makes me think more about what I'm reading. And so that is something that I've had as a goal for many years. I've been aware of this for many years, and I am working on it, and I feel like I'm going to continue to work on it this year, and I'm really excited to do so. I've made a lot of progress, and I'm going to continue to make progress. It is hard when you're surrounded by recommendations all day, that I'm so grateful to have these recommendations, but it's just something that you have to know, like, there's going to be the best stuff recommended to you. You just have to pick what works for you and what is going to be 4 and 5 stars, not 3. That was like a long speech on that one, but I feel really passionate about it. And I know so many of us struggle with this overexposure to recommendations, and I couldn't appreciate content creators on BookTube enough doing this and making these lists that mean I don't have to sit there and do my own research. I love it. And I enjoy doing the same for you guys when I create my content. But it is really important to take in what other people say and then make sure that you are picking what works for you and your tastes and your style. And every year that goes by, I learn more about my tastes and my style. And yeah, I feel like I'm really getting there. Obviously, we're ever changing and our reading tastes are ever growing. So it's never going to be perfect, but it's always my goal every year. And that is why. The second one is to read all outstanding arcs. I have pretty much stopped requesting arcs at the moment on NetGalley, and I've never really requested arcs physically. I'm lucky enough to get them, and I really appreciate it. I'm so privileged to have a channel where people send me arcs. I have some of my arcs, especially on NetGalley, from like 2022, and I would really, and they're books I really want to read. It's not that I've lost interest. I feel overwhelmed by the amount that there are. That's why I want to next year read all the backlisted, or what do you call them? Backdated arcs. Start fresh. Maybe just don't request arcs, I don't know. But yeah, my physicals aren't too bad. I'm pretty good at keeping on top of physicals because they're in my face. I can see them. But when I don't see them, like when they're on like NetGalley or my Kindle, you're not seeing them as much, and then they leave my brain. So I'm going to make a conscious effort to backdate all of those arcs and read them all and be done with it. Number 3 is to complete more series. I have a lot of ongoing series, some of which I haven't decided if I'm DNFing or not. Some I've just kind of left in limbo. It's not a problem. You can read sequels whenever you want. But I, as a teenager, used to be a binger of series. I would read the first book and then that'd be it. Like, if I was into it, the rest of the series would be read by the end of the week. And I love that about myself. So I want to do that now. Whereas I tend to read the first book and then I can't seem to go into the second one because I'm like, well, I got too many books to read. And that's silly. So this year, it's not that I have a set number. Like, I don't want to be, oh, I want to be down 25% on my series. It's nothing like that. I just want to make a more conscious effort. Like, if I finish a book and there's a sequel that I want to read, go ahead. Or if there's a series I've read in the past, a lot of the time, maybe when I don't own physically, I then kind of, again, forget about it because I'm not seeing it. And that just doesn't work for me. Like, I want to make a conscious effort. I have a spreadsheet of all my series and I'm going to make sure that I check it every now and again and think, oh my god, yeah, remember that series? I want to continue that. I think if I just make something a goal, it just works for me and I will prioritize it. So that is what I'm doing with that one. There is nothing wrong with my reading of series. I just want to develop it a little more. Number 4 is to read authors' backlists this year. Again, just something that I feel like I don't prioritize. I'm very much a fan of new release books and I love keeping up with new releases. A lot of, like, when you make content, like, I feel like there's a lot of pressure to read new releases because you want people to engage in your content, and most people do that with new releases. But I do have to remind myself that I make content because I read, not I read because I make content, which we'll get into more about later. But for that reason, I want to read more backlists. I want to read what I want to read. Like Darcy Coates, I absolutely love Darcy Coates and I want to read all of her books. There's a lot of these authors that I just think, do you know what, I've really liked a lot of their books. I want to make more of a conscious effort to read them. Not all of them, that's ridiculous. But, you know, maybe if I can make it more of a habit this year, that'll continue on into the future. So it's something I'm going to definitely focus on in 2024. Number 5 is so important and kind of feeds into what I've already spoken about. And it's don't jump on trends. Don't get me wrong, some trends are amazing. This Fourth Wing trend, I know to some people they hate it, but I thought Fourth Wing was amazing. I gave it 5 stars. It was in my best books of the year list, which you can find up here somewhere. I really, really enjoyed it and I have no regrets on reading it. But I feel like there's some times that I see people talking about these books and they put up the book cover, and if I've seen it like 4 or 5 times in different people's video, I'm like, that must be good, I'm gonna read that. I don't even look at the genre, let alone the synopsis. What's the genre? I don't know, and I'm just not sure that's okay. But sometimes it's boded well for me. Sometimes it's been like such a nice surprise, whereas other times I've been reading and I'm like, it was okay, 3-star. And it's like, well, yeah, you didn't know you were gonna like that because you never bothered to do any research. I just assumed that because people were talking about it, it was good, and that's not something you should do because that could be a YA book. Like, the amount of books I've bought that people have said are good, and then they've been YA and I haven't liked them because I'm not really into YA, is crazy. However, I am now getting a little bit back into my YA era, just a little bit. And I'm enjoying quite a lot of YA books, so hopefully that can change. But at the beginning of the year, I was very much out of my YA. I didn't read YA, I was fully adult. And then I was reading these hyped YA romances or fantasies and hating them because I don't like YA. So I just need to do a bit more research. It kind of blends into the quality over quantity thing. It's the same situation. I just don't want to jump on trends without doing any sort of research just because they're trends. And the final one, number 6, is to write more reviews. I had this goal last year as well, and I think I've done a little bit better at it. I have Goodreads. I think we all do. It's always linked down below. I also have a Bookstagram down below. And I love writing reviews on my Goodreads of the books I've read. They're not always the most comprehensive reviews. Sometimes they are. Sometimes I sit there and write for ages because I'm just so invested. Other times, they're just 3 or 4 sentences of how the book made me feel, or sometimes even just one-liners. I don't think I could ever remove rating my books from my system completely. I love rating a book. I finish a book and I often know the rating I'm going to give it, the star rating. I don't think I could ever get rid of that. But as my favourite books of the year proved to me this year, there were some 4 stars in there that were better than 5 stars. And so sometimes I do feel a written review gives not only other people who are interested in what I think of books, but also myself when I look back in the future, a little bit of insight into what was going through my mind. Why did I give that 4-star? What was the reason in the moment? I'd like to know. So not only for other people to see what I think of books, but also for my own personal memory and, I don't know, looking back in the future, I'd like to know what I think of books, more than just a simple star rating that doesn't give me a lot of information. Everybody's star rating is different. It's very difficult. A written review, it tells you my thoughts, and I'd like to do more of that this year. And then I'd like to share more to my Bookstagram about those reviews. I copy and paste them basically over to Bookstagram and be more active over there. I suppose that's more of like a channel goal, just on a different platform. But it also comes into my reading goals because I want to make more of an effort when I'm reading a book to think about it, not just read it. Some books don't need to be thought about. Some books need to be just easy reads, palate cleansers even. But I feel like I don't think about a lot of the books I read. Or even if I do, I'm thinking about what other people could think about it for when I recommend it. Whereas I need to think about it for me. I'm the one reading it, so I need to make more of that a priority. Moving on to channel goals. I feel like this year on my channel has been one of the best for my channel. I've really enjoyed making videos this year. I've made some fun videos that I'm really proud of and I've loved making. And I think last year as well, like I did some videos I really, really enjoyed. But I stuck myself to a schedule this year. I wanted to upload it every week, 1 to 2 times a week, and I had set days. That is great. That is great, especially for my procrastination where, I don't want to make a video. But you have a set day, so you have to do it. That is brilliant. I'm really glad I did that this year. But I have found that as a result, I have stuck to the same content. If you upload once a week, every month you have a TBR and a wrap up, and then you're done. Like, you only have 2 more videos to play with. I, this year, would like to scrap a schedule. Maybe not completely. Maybe I'll upload once a week. Who knows? But I would like to focus more on creativity. And that is what I've written. Rely on my creative spark. I don't want to be sat here thinking, do you know what, I have to upload tomorrow. What am I going to film? Oh, it's the beginning of the month. Let's do a TBR. If I want to film a TBR, great, I'll film one. If I want to film a wrap-up, great, I'll film one. I love filming my wrap-ups. I want to do more with the creativity on my channel, which, to be honest, these goals all kind of blend into one. Because the next one is number 2, don't look at reviews. And I think that's such a big issue. Like, some of the videos I have absolutely loved making, some of my vlogs have literally hit like 50 views, and that's it. Like, okay, it's not a lot, and it's discouraging. And then I feel like I don't want to do the vlogs that I want to do again, even though they're what I want to do. Or some of my like fun recommendation videos, I have no idea how many views every video hits, I'll be honest. Like, I don't always look, and that's good. That's because I've told myself I can't. But sometimes I'll notice a video isn't performing well, and then I'll just like not do it again. And that's really disappointing, because like, I want to film what I want to film, and that's okay. Like, obviously you want people to enjoy it. I do want people to enjoy it, otherwise I'm wasting my time. But I do want myself to enjoy the videos I'm producing as well. Because I think you can tell if I was not enjoying a video I was producing. You'd know. You'd see it. So I do want to enjoy what I'm making as well. I think that's really important when it comes to videos, and to keep your creative spark alive. So this year I want to focus on more just videos that I want to do. Number 3 is more recommendation videos. And again, the reason I don't do these is because they're a lot of work. They are a lot of work. Maybe some people won't think so. Maybe it'll come to them naturally to make recommendation videos. But like, for example, I made a, if you like this Switch game, you'll like this, no, if you like this book, you'll like this Switch game video. And I loved making that. Oh my god, that was like one of my favourite videos I've ever made. And I want to do a part 2. And I want to do it with loads of things. I want to do it with movies and TV shows. The planning for that video took me days, because I was so invested in trying to get it right. But you know how accomplished I felt afterwards? And like, I have no idea how many people watched that video. It could have been a flop. Thankfully, I don't know. But I loved making that video, and I had a lot of fun. And when I'm sitting here coming up with lists for recommendation videos, I feel a spark of excitement. Like, I know I wrote this year a couple of books I wanted to, like a couple of recommendations videos I wanted to do. For example, I have one that's like my favourite translated books, and then blue books I recommend. Like, it can be a fun, quirky thing, like, oh, blue books, pink books, yellow books, whatever. I just want to do more recommendations. I want to sit here and talk about books more. I feel like a lot of booktube, you could disagree or you could agree, I don't know. I feel like a lot of booktube has become other things, which is fine. It's evolving, it's doing what it's doing. But I really liked book recommendation videos a few years ago, and I feel like they're just not as common now. I feel like it's a lot more everything else, the faff in between. And I think this year it might not work, it might work. I want to just do more recommendations, talk more about the books I'm reading, the books I've read, the books I'm loving, the books I want to read. I just want to focus more on books. That's what we're here for. Brooks Books. It's for books. And kind of following on from what I'm saying, is my number 4, which is themed reading vlogs and series vlogs. I have been wanting to do set series for so long. I might have done a couple, I can't really remember, but I have so many series on my shelves that I bought like the entire series so I could do a series reading vlog. I want to film them. I want to film them. Why am I not filming them? But I feel like I buy so many books with like the intention of doing the videos, and then for some reason I don't do them. So in next year, I want to start dedicating time to filming these themed vlogs and series vlogs, because I'm really excited to do it. And I don't know why vlogs don't perform very well. Vlogs are my favourite thing to watch on BookTube. My vlogs don't do so hot, and that's fine, but I'm going to film them from now on. So those are all my reading goals and channel goals for this year. I don't know if it was of any interest to you, but as I said in this thing, I wanted to film it, so I'm doing it. If you have any reading goals for this year, I'd love to know what they are down below. Or if you have a channel, what your channel goals. Please let me know. I know we all love to set reading goals for the new year. I know some people think it's ridiculous. I just find myself very excited about a fresh start. And that's what I take every year as. So my fresh start, my fresh goals. Let me know what your goals are down below, and I shall speak to you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.